Hey friends, welcome to the channel. Today in this video we're going to solve the final problem of week 2 of CS50, which is substitution. Right? You don't necessarily have to solve this particular problem, substitution. If you are less comfortable with CS50 so far, you can also submit Caesar, but we already did that in the previous video, and if you want to submit this, here's how you do it. So if you look at the description that is given to us, it is very similar to encryption program, right? So basically the demo shows us that we have to build a program in which when executing the program, the user has to provide a key, and the key should be just alphabets, right? So that means is if this is the key and if the message is hello, then instead of H we should replace whatever is given, right? So that means is in place of H there's currently E, right? Similarly, in place of A there's Y, so that is what we have to do, right? And also a few things that we have to make sure to avoid is the program should not be executed just like this. It should show a usage error, and similarly it should have 26 letters in the key that is given, right? Also it should not have any numbers, and then it should also not have duplicate alphabets. So to do that, the very first thing that we'll do is we'll go to this particular website, which is cs50.dev, and once you're there, once you log in, this is the interface that you will see. So we already created the week 2 folder in the previous videos. So what we will do is we'll go to week 2, we'll say mkdir, let's just copy substitution, and then we'll go inside that folder, ct substitution, press enter, and then code substitution.c. Alright, cool, we are here. Let me increase the font size so that you can see everything properly. And once you've done this, let me hide this. Okay, so I'll clear everything, and now what we're going to do is let's just do the basic thing that we do all the time. So include cs50.h. we are using string h for strlen, similarly c type for uppercase and lowercase values. And then let's do the basic int min void. Okay, so let's try the pseudocode first. So first we have to validate the command line argument, and inside this a couple of things that we have to make sure of. So first we have to make sure that the length is 2. Similarly, we have to validate the length of key, which should be 26. Similarly, we have to make sure only alphabets are in the key. Similarly, we also have to validate that there are no copies, no duplicates. Alright, once we have validated the command line argument, the other thing that we have to do is we'll then take the input from the user, which is our plain text, and then we'll do print the ciphertext. So let's begin right away. The very first thing that we have to do is we have to take a command line input from the user, and if you remember from the lecture, we do that by saying int argc argument count and then string argv. The next thing that we have to do is if the argument count is not equals to 2, as in if this is not equals to 2, then it should throw an error. For example, here it's just 1, it should throw an error. Similarly here the length is 1, 2, 3 and 4, it should throw a usage error, right? And the error code should be this. So we want to say if argument count is not equals to 2, then we want to printf this particular message with a \n, and then we want to exit the program by returning 1. Great, this works. And the next thing that we have to validate is this. The length should be 26. So we can do that by saying if argv, which is the variable in the first location. So for example, if this was the way that the user decided to execute the program, then this is argv, which is a variable, it's an array. In the 0th index is this particular thing, right? In the first index, that is index 1, is abc, or here it's the key, right? So basically arg1 is what we need. If strlen of this particular thing, if it's not equals to 26, then what we want to do is this. We want to again printf key must contain 26 characters. We'll copy this, paste it here, again \n, semicolon, and then again we want to say return 1. And now what we have to check is that all the key that is entered, for example, if this is the particular key, we already checked all the other conditions that are possible, and then if this is the given key, then we want to avoid two things. The first is that it should all be just alphabets, characters, right? Alphabetic character. And if it's not an alphabetic character, we want to throw an error. And similarly, we also want to avoid duplicates. So for example, if there's 1y here, 1y or 1t, it should not be repeated in the key, right? So the way we do that is by using two variables, and we want to look through the key. So for that we'll say for int I equals 0, I'll show you why this works and how it works. N is equals to strlen. We want to say key. So how do we get the key? We can get the key by saying argv1. All right, and then while I is less than n, I plus plus. All right, so what we do now is basically we use two pointers, not literal pointers. I'm just giving you an example. So for example, let's just copy this key. I'll copy this, I'll paste it here. This is a comment, so you don't have to worry about that. Let's say we are using two pointers, I and j, right? So the way that we are going to solve this particular problem to validate this is by doing this. We'll first point I to y, right? And then we'll start j to here. So we'll compare is I, as in is y equals to t. Hold on, yeah. Is I equals to t? No. And then we'll say is y equals to n? No. And then is y equals to s? No, right? Similarly, we'll loop through the entire key that is given to us, but starting after one location, right? So if I is currently pointing to t, we don't want to check the previous values or the current value. We want to start at I plus 1 location, right? And then we'll look through everything, and if anything matches, if it is equals to anything, then we want to like basically throw an error saying that it is a duplicate. Or if it is not an alphabet, when we are looping through the entire key, then again we want to throw an error saying that the key should be all alphabets or something like that. Okay, so the way we're going to do this is first we are going to say if is alpha. If you go to the manual right now and if you say is alpha, it's currently in C type header file, which we already have here, right? And what it basically does is alpha, it takes a character as an input, character C, char C, and then hold on, yeah, this is how we use it, is alpha, and we pass in a character, and then it returns a non-zero value, a non-zero integer if C is alphabetical, and it returns a 0 if it is not an alphabetical character. So we'll say if is alpha argv1, and then if it is not a alphabet, then we would get the return value of 0, right, as shown here. And in that case we simply want to printf key should be all alphabets. Anything works, I guess, because the way that CS50 is going to validate or basically check whether or not our program is correct by using the return keys. So return 1, they're going to just check this, not this and everything. Anyway, this is done, and then we want to use another variable as a pointer. So what we are going to do is we are going to say we are going to create a nested loop, right? So we'll say int int j equals I plus 1. That is where we want to begin, and then we want to go while j is less than n, because we want to go till the end but not beyond that. So while j is less than n, j plus plus. And what we want to do is we'll say if while argv1 in the ith location, argv1 is our key, because argv0 is going to be our execution code, which is this particular thing. So we do not care about that. So argv1 is our key. Another I is basically like inside this key that is given to us, we are checking individual characters of that particular index. So we do this. If this is equals to argv1 and then j, then what we want to do is, whoops, in this case we want to simply say printf no duplicate values allowed, and then return 1, of course. Okay, so currently we have validated all the possible errors for the key, and once we have validated means that the key is correct. So we want to say string key equals to argv1. We will assign our key to the key because the key is correct, and then only in that case we are going to proceed, which is by taking the input from the user. So we'll say string plain equals to get string. So we got the plain text, and then we will start printing the ciphertext. Okay, we'll print this, and then in the same line we want to run a loop which then we will use to basically encrypt the message, the plain text that is entered by the user. So we'll say for int I equals 0 again, and is again equals to strlen. Earlier we were using strlen to count, hold on, where is it? Yeah, earlier we were using strlen, or basically n, to store the value of the count of the key, right? But now we are using strlen and we are storing it in n to count the number of characters in the plain text that is given by the user. So we'll say while I is less than n, I plus plus, and then we want to do this, which is going to be, first we want to check if it is an alphabet, because if you look here we are keeping the value of non-alphabetic character, right? We are starting here, but we are basically encrypting only the alphabetic characters. So basically if it's alphabet, we'll encrypt it. If it's not alphabet, we'll just print it as it is. So it means if is alpha, again we are getting is alpha from, hold on, I'll show you. We're getting is alpha from here, earlier manual pages, is alpha. Yeah, there we go. We're using this is alpha. If it is an alphabet, then what we want to do is we want to check if it's a uppercase or a lowercase. If is upper plain I, in that case we want to do something. If it is alphabet and if it's not a uppercase, then of course it's a lowercase value, so we want to do this. So if it is an uppercase value, what we want to do then is we want to print something, which is going to be %c. So the entire magic should happen here. So what we are trying to do is, if we go to ASCII, let's say that the entered value from the user was a hello, right? So h, right? The plain text, the first character of plain text is h, it's 72. So what would happen if we were to say 72 minus 65? What would that give us? 72 minus 65 would give us a 7, right? And then if we were to come back to our key, in the 7th position, what do we have? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Get it? So h is replaced by e. So that is the logic that we're going to use. So here what we want to do is we want to say inside the key we want to say plain I, the character that we have as of now, and we want to reduce how much? 65 from it. And then when we do this, this will give us an integer, because if the first character was h, it was a 72, then if we subtract 65 from it, it will give us a 7. And then we will check inside the key string, which is also an array of characters, we would check key 7, and 7 would be whatever the value of the 7th index in the key string is. This might seem confusing at first, but if you take some time you will understand, and if you don't, please let me know. I'll try to explain it in the comment. Okay, so this is what we are going to do if it is a uppercase. If it is not a uppercase, here, hold on, there's something that we are missing, and that is we want to take whatever this is, right? And then we want to say to upper. The reason why we want to do this is because if you look at the key, it is currently all capital, right? But here this output is not all capital, right? If it is uppercase, then we are printing it as a uppercase. If it's a lowercase, then we will check in the key, but then we'll also convert it to a lowercase value, right? Similarly, it is not necessary that the user will give all capital or all uppercase key. They could give us like mix of something or something lowercase. So in order to avoid any of those errors, we are going to convert it, right, to upper or to lower. So we'll copy this. Here again we want to say to lower, and then here we don't want to use 65. Here what we want to use is 97 is the first character for lowercase, and so we'll say minus 97. All right, this should work. So the alphabets are fixed, and if it is not alphabet, then else we want to just print it as it is, %C, and then we want to say plain I. So hopefully this should work. And then we also want to, after we have printed everything, after we have looped through the entire plain text, and after we have printed everything, we want to print a new line so that everything looks good. So let's try to make substitution, press enter. Substitution, press enter, uses error, nice. We wanted that to happen. 1 2 3, uses error, nice. And then if we were to say 1 ABCD, key must contain 26 characters, fine. Okay, so let's come here. I'll try to copy this, and then instead of O, if I were to say 4, key should be all alphabets, good. Press enter. Okay, and I'll try to say hello, and hopefully it is correct. EHBBQ, EHBBQ, that is wonderful. Next thing we are going to do is we are going to check whether or not our program is correct. We'll come here, we'll press it, press enter, and let's wait for a moment. All right, our program is all correct. So what next? First we are going to fix the design of it. If you wanted, you could copy paste the style. We don't care about that. We'll just click on right top corner, press here, apply changes. Looks good, wonderful. And then we will submit it. So to submit it, we'll come here, press enter, and then it will tell us, keeping in mind the program's academic honesty policy, do you want to submit it? And absolutely we do, don't we? Yes. And then it will upload it, and then we will be able to see our score by clicking here, command click or control click, open. And if you look here, we got a full point 18 upon 18 for our logic, and we got a full point for our style, which is wonderful. Another thing to keep in mind is if you are not subscribed to the channel already, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and then there's a playlist on the screen right now, and you can click on that playlist to watch all the other videos for the upcoming problems of CS50. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.